This is exactly segues perfectly, Dubai Ben, into my next segment, which is outgoings. Because we've seen the incomings, and I think we all agree and we all kind of know that we're going to relax the ball with the incomings now and assess the market and see what's happening, right? And now we're going to get rid of this. Ben, is it fair to say we're going to get rid of the players that he didn't really trust? They were there, he used them sporadically, and I'm talking the likes of, and I know me and you have had loads of conversations about Kwanzaa, Elliott, Tsimikas, Kelleher, we know is already gone, possibly Jota. So it's all about outgoings now, Ben. Let's start off with the Kwanzaa. I know your opinion, but let the masses know. Where are you with the fee, with the buyback, and is it the right call?
Yeah, it definitely is the right call. It's also the right call for him. He's got to be playing, hasn't he? He's a young lad. He needs to be playing consistent. It looks like he's going in there as a starter. I'm not a big fan of him because you know my thoughts on him. Said it for a while. He makes far too many mistakes, and they were always going to continue with the player that's not playing regular football at Liverpool Football Club. And look, he may be good enough, but he currently isn't good enough for Liverpool. It's as simple as that. You know, to be a Liverpool centre half, you've got to be top draw. So it is a good move for him. The price is good as well. And, you know, the fact they've got a buyback, it's not to say we're going to go there, but if they are going to go there, he must have done some serious business for Leverkusen. Do you know what I mean? So what is it? I can't think what 15%.
Million.
Yeah. So there you go. But if they're going to go and do that, then he must have been doing some serious stuff. And maybe it is the player that they thought they had on the hands. And, you know, don't be surprised to see something like that for like Harvey Elliott. Do you know what I mean? It's the right call. And good luck to him. But for me, he's not good enough for Liverpool right now.
We'll get on to the possible replacements we think should be coming in. Simple, Ben. Was you a Kwanzaa fan? You okay with the situation? I was a fan. I think he'll come good. I think he's young, but I also understand that at this level, we can't have projects. So I was a bit conflicted about it. Where are you?
Yeah, I mean, I like him. I just feel like I think of the United game, it's just completely shot. And I think with him and a lot of our youngsters, actually, I think Klopp was not saying that Slot isn't, but because he literally saw these guys come through, he had them pre-season tours when they were kids and stuff like that. He was like their guy, like their dad sort of thing at the club. And I think as soon as Klopp went, I'm not saying that Slot doesn't rate our youngsters, but I feel like the writing was on the wall for a lot of them. If there was money to be made, then that was it. You know, we saw straight away they were making quick fire sales for a lot of our young players, and people were like, "What the heck's going on? We're not going to have an academy if we carry on doing this." But yeah, listen, the money I think was okay. I feel like we probably could have gotten more, but we've got a good buyback clause in him. So if he does go out there and smash it, we can get him back. I'm not sure he would want to come back though if he's been sold, but that'll be in his hands. I always thought with Kwanzaa, I'd be okay with him being third or fourth choice. I think when it comes to him and our third choice centre back in general, obviously we know the issues that Konate's had in the past. We know Virgil, as good as he is, he's not the spring chicken Virgil when he was 27, 28. You're probably going to have to play a lot more games being Liverpool's third choice centre back than other clubs' third choice centre back. So I just feel like maybe there's something in his game that didn't align with what Slot wants. His technical ability is not the best and stuff like that. He's not that quick of a centre back. I just feel like it was one of them where he's not really in his plans. The money was there. Kwanzaa probably wants to play football. It's sort of best for all parties. Similar thing with Harvey, which I'm sure we'll get onto as well. But yeah, I hope he does well. I hope he smashes it. It's a good club to go to. 10 Hogs, the gaff. So I'm not too sure how that's going to pan out. But yeah, good luck to him,
man. He's mentioned the next player, Scousemo. Harvey Elliott. Decision has to be made from the club, from the player, his family. We spoke about positions and roles for players. To me, it seems like there just wasn't a role for Harvey Elliott in a Slot team and a system. I like Harvey. I think he's a fantastic player. I think he's got the best attitude in the world. He loves the club, all of that. I understand and I get it. Again, I'm just in love with all the Liverpool players, man. You know me. I love my boys, man. Like You know, they brought us the title, man, and Harvey loves Liverpool as much as we love Liverpool. But right call or no, keep him in the squad.
Honestly, I love Harvey Elliott. You know I love Harvey Elliott, but everything that you just said there is spot on, honestly. Like, even last season, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm mistaken, but Slot came out last season and said, well, it's difficult for Harvey to get minutes. There's Szoboszlai in that position. There's Salah on the wing. It's hard for him to get minutes, and now it's just going to get a lot tougher for him with Wirtz coming in. And even maybe potentially Frimpong could be playing right wing some games. We might see that happen when Salah's not available, when he goes to AFCON, for example. So he's gone down on the pecking list of the squad even more. And I personally think Elliott is a very talented football player. Maybe he's not the fastest, and maybe that's why he didn't play a lot of games for us last season. But I think it makes sense for him. It makes sense for the club. It makes sense for all parties. I think we'll get a good fee for him as well. I think he's been... Yeah, but hasn't there been some reports that it's like 45 mil to Brighton?
Let's just say, is that okay?
Yeah. That's a good fee, to be honest. But then again, on the flip side, if Elanga had just got Newcastle got a bid rejected for Elanga, and I think it was like 50 million. Maybe in about the same region. I'm not going to go into a debate on who's the better player, Elanga or Elliott, because they're different. Elanga's just a speed demon. I'll be gutted when Elliott goes, because I really, really like him. His attitude's phenomenal. He seems like a good lad. He's a good football player when he's got the ball at his feet. He'll bleed for the club. He'll die for the club. He's a Liverpool fan through and through. Like, there's so many things to like about Elliott, but it makes sense for him to get regular game time, go to Brighton, be a starter there. And it makes sense for Liverpool as well. Cash in, get a good fee for him. It just makes sense for all parties, honestly. He wasn't getting minutes last season. With Wirtz coming in now, is he going to get any minutes at all? So he's 21, he's 22. Let him go.
Oh, this is the sad part when you're letting go of not legends, but, you know, like anyone who plays it for Liverpool, tries his heart out, you know, has a good attitude, and manages to bloody win you the league. In my opinion, man, has to be loved
as well. I don't know why, but one of my favorite moments from last season, I don't know why this is a moment that I remember so much, but last season when we played City at home and we were beating them 2-0, and then Elliott came off the bench. He was out injured for like 3-4 months. I don't know why I seem to recall that moment, because I remember just thinking, we're top of the league, we just smashed City, we just smashed Real Madrid, and we've got Harvey Elliott coming back into the squad. Like, that's how much I actually rate Harvey Elliott and how much I respect the lad, and I'm just thinking, wow, what a time to be alive. So I'm going to be really gutted when he goes, but as I said, it just makes sense.
I think we all going to agree on the Tsimikas one. So I'm not going to waste too much time on the Tsimikas unless there is anybody who wants to defend him. Hold your hands high now so I can see you. Okay. No, because you are mad like that. You do say something.
Yeah, I will say some unexpected things.
Yeah, I know you. I like you. I know you like to stir the pot sometimes. Welshmo, Chiesa and Nunes, we're going to count as one. And I think we're all going to agree. I think Chiesa and Nunes, is there any hands up for Chiesa and Nunes' case to stay or give another season? No. Okay.
No.
Right. Then I'm going to ask you the question then of Gakpo and Diaz, surprisingly to maybe a lot of people, have been linked away. Is there danger of one of them going? And are you okay with one of them going? And if so, how much? Is there a price that you took? Because Gakpo has been linked with Bayern, Diaz has been linked with Barcelona and Saudi clubs, I think only. Now, I can't see Barca raising the funds. I mean, depending on how much you want for Diaz, actually, if you rate him.
Getting Nico Williams as well, aren't they now?
Yeah.
There you go. So Diaz and Gakpo, or are you keeping both?
I'm keeping both. And like, if out of the two players, if there's one going to be gone, it's more likely to be Diaz than it is going to be Gakpo, because obviously Diaz put posts out sounding like he's leaving. He's got 2 years left in his contract. He's even come out and said, oh, I'm happy to stay in and see my 2 years out, which I guess is a win-win for Liverpool in a way, because we still get to keep, you know, a great player who chipped in 15, 16 league goals last year and can play false nine as well if need be. But he's been twerking for Barcelona since he signed for us. He wants to play there, but the thing is, Barcelona is skint and they can barely activate Nico Williams' clause at the moment. So where he's going to end up, I don't know. I mean, Saudi might come knocking, but is he going to be, you know, tempted?
Will he want to go there at this stage of his career? Will he want to go there, guys?
like if he can't get his dream move to Barca or to Spain, he might go and get paid, and set up some generational wealth for his family. Like, he's 28 years old. He might go do 2-3 years there and try and find his way back to Spain. But I think it's a wrong move for him. I think he's holding out for Spain. Whether that comes, I don't know, because Barcelona are just, Barcelona. I feel like they've rope-a-doped him. They've reeled him in, saying, "Yeah, we want you, we want you, we want you." Oh, Nico Williams, there, mate. And Diaz is kind of left out in the lurch now. But it's from our situation. If they both stay, win-win.
Win-win.
Yeah, definitely. And if one of them goes, do we get a replacement? Is Malik Fofana's been linked, and I'd love to get someone like him. There's rumours that Lyon are even more financial trouble now, or getting relegated. So there could be another door opening there. So it's going to be a domino effect. If that left-hand side, if someone does go, there's going to be a domino effect in play. And I think we're lining up someone like Fofana just in case that does, come to fruition. But to answer your question, I'd love to keep both of them. Both of them scored 15, 16 goals a season last year. Both came in. Gakpo for me is more of a rhythm player. He needs to get on a run, and when he hits that run, he hits that run. Diaz, the experiment false nine didn't work for me personally, but it's an option, He scored most of his goals when he was out on the left. Let's not forget that. He didn't score many when he was on the false line. But there's an option there, and an option that could be utilised when Mo is in AFCON. So there's pros and cons, and I would personally keep both of them.
Danino says, big up the panel. We need to stop with the sentiments. Obviously, Harvey don't fit slots, pan. Sell it, make a profit, reinforce the squad. Ben Dubai, I'm going to come to you with the sentimental side of things and sort of decisions that need to be made now. Before we talk about the replacements of the players that we've all turfed, the Red Room has ruled the roost. We have decided who's going and who's staying, and we'll discuss who we should bring in. But what I want to ask you now is the tough question, I think, or it might be easy for you, actually. Knowing you, it'll be piss easy for you. Is there a situation that we need to resolve with Ibrahima Konate? Especially after the Trent debacle. Where you at? What would you do? How would you deal with it if you're Richard Hughes?
That's a tough one, isn't
it?
Yeah. I suppose you have to take into consideration what he said as well. Don't be believing half the stuff out there, which is half the case for most of the stuff with the media, isn't it? People like to drive it. The fella that was talking about it, doesn't he write for the Sun and all that shit? Something like that. So
I think he used to, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, take it with a pinch of salt, but it's not a great position to be in again, is it? Let's be honest. He's if some of the fees banded about, he's a 60, 70 million centre half on his day, isn't he? If he's got a bigger contract.
Is there a fee that makes you talk and think about it, though?
Not really, but if someone comes with 60 million, I think Liverpool would be talking about it.
Really?
Well, he's got 1 year left. If he's not willing to sign a deal, do you think they're going to let him go for another 8 million quid? It'd have to be something like that, wouldn't it? Because ultimately,
yeah. But
what can he do? What can he do? It's only so long you could go by taking someone's word, isn't it? And I think they've been led down the garden path by Trent too far.
Yeah, we know that. We know that. We discussed that to him. Yeah, he absolutely. I mean, we're not going to.
Obviously, I'm not saying it's going to go, but I mean, there comes a time and a point where Liverpool have to make a stand and not look stupid. Do you know what I mean? And what do you do? Do you want to? How would people react if he goes for free in the summer next year? They're not going to be happy, are they? And just doesn't set a good precedent. You'll have other players thinking, "Oh, maybe that is the way to get out." And it's people have got to start putting a stance together and not making real.
This is the problem. But this is the problem. This is the problem.
Oh, sorry.
Check this out. This is the problem, right? And I agree with everything you said, but there's a massive problem here. And I've always said this: how do you sell a player when his heart and his agent and his people around him, just like Trent, is set on, and Mbappe, the biggest high-profile guy who saw his contract and went for the bread himself and his people around him. If Konate indicates or doesn't make any indication, but Liverpool can't take a risk, like you said, and get burnt twice in bloody 6 months or whatever it's going to be, what do you do then, Ben? It's World Cup season. Do you tell Konate, we're not going to play you, mate? I'm telling you that now if you stick around. But that's like you're not playing the second best centre back in the Premier League.
He doesn't play because he ain't starting at the World Cup, is he? Because there's a few centre halves that have been performing better than him for France. You know, it's as simple as that. The problem is the manager showed that he will play players whose contracts are low. Do you know what I mean?
This is the problem, isn't it?
Yeah. I think he stays personally, because I just look at our project and look at Real Madrid. Play them 7 days a week. I think Liverpool beat the majority of the time at the minute. Do you know what I mean? I think we look at far better proposition than them. I do get the attraction. But I think if Liverpool were considering making a call on selling him, I think they'd be looking more towards PSG than Real Madrid.
That's his dream club, isn't it? That's the one he said.
He's a Brazilian, isn't he? So
that's what I mean. He wants to go and captain PSG. I'd have no. If he said, "Look, I want to go this summer," then Liverpool would probably make it work, because they won't want to be burned, like I said. So they're going to be difficult when it comes to Real Madrid, because look at that Perez joking around saying Liverpool are our friends. How we fuck? Do you know what I mean? Oh wait, do you know what I mean? You fool. But Liverpool probably would make it work if PSG came to the table. One, they'd get a good fee, and two, they won't look stupid. And I think they have to set a precedent, because, you know, for instance, Real Madrid, every man and his dog knows they're half interested in McAllister, for instance. So there's a few things that Liverpool have to make a call on, and I think the Konate one is important for how they go forward.
Go on, Scousemo.
I was going to say, like, obviously, it's a difficult situation to be in. But let me just ask you guys a question, because in my personal opinion, I think Konate is the difference between us winning the Premier League and winning the Champions League next season. So if he was to go this summer for, say, circa 60, 70 million, next season, in my opinion, the team is weakened instantly.
Yeah.
Wherever centre back in,
100%.
the team is weakened. So our potential in the Champions League or a Premier League is significantly reduced. However, if you keep Konate in this team, even though he hasn't signed the contract, and he might leave on a free next season, and there's a risk of him leaving on a free next season.
No, if he don't sign a contract, he's definitely leaving on a free.
Oh, wait. Yeah, okay. But if we win a Premier League and a Champions League next season, is it worth us just keeping him and letting him go for the free next season? I'm asking.
Well, this was the thinking about Trent, though, wasn't it?
It was,
about the Nunes in December. Not December, January. Bids for Nunes, bids for Trent, but we decided to keep hold of them because we wanted to get over the line. And
are we not overreacting a little bit? Like, I know.
I mean, I think we've all been stunk, because this time last year we all assumed that Trent.
I think that's probably why we're overreacting a little bit, because all we've heard is Ibby first of all saying, "Don't believe everything you read in the press." Then we've heard saying he's rejected.
Why didn't Trent do that?
Yeah. So, but then we've heard rumours that he's rejected his latest contract offer, which has caused a bit of panic within the fan base due to the Trent scenario. What I take out of that is they're actually talking. The club and player are actually talking. If he's rejected one offer, it doesn't mean that they've just gone to. They've been like in dialogue already, which is a positive.
I remember the Paul Joyce, Liverpool and Konate are in talks, and
since October.
Stalemate. That was around a year ago. I know these things don't take. You know, they're not quick to get these things sorted, but it was a very long time ago. And
what he's asking for, let's break it down a bit. Like, you know, apparently we're led to believe what we're reading. He wants 200k a week. Now, bear in mind, we just sold a defender yesterday for 3 million, who got paid 10k less than Ibu, Nat Phillips.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Nat Phillips was on 55k and has been for the last 6 years for Liverpool. We sold him yesterday for 3 million. Ibu, who played all season, integral to winning many games, gets paid 10k more than him. So Ibu's on 65, 70k. I think, like Dubai Ben said, we're looking at a 60 million pound player here. You know, if we look at Premier League defenders last year, the season just gone, VVD was number one. You probably put Gabriel second.
Yeah.
And Ibu's probably third, in my opinion. Yeah. So if we're going to go out and buy a player to replace that, we're looking at 60 mil. Now, if we then go and buy a 60 million defender, you're looking at 150 to 200k wages anyway. So, in my opinion, if he's want 200k, I think we should just give it and sign him up. Like
Liverpool will give him that, mate. There's no two ways around it.
I don't think that's the issue. Yeah. It's just whether he wants it or not for me. And look, I agree what you're saying, but I think we have been stung and we have been here before. And if you can't trust a local lad that's been there his entire life, really, like we are bound to think this way. What the PSG thing that was just talking about, I remember, I can't remember exactly when or what it was, but he has spoken in an interview before about captaining PSG and he could see himself there. You know, that would be his end goal. So if that chance comes to him now, he's 26. you know, you get one career, you get one chance at this. If that doesn't come again, they're the sort of things are probably going around in his mind right now. So, like Grizz says, if this isn't done and dusted by the end of this summer, then I think it's done.
PSG just signed up Zabani from Bournemouth.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Didn't they just sign for Zabani? And they've got William Pacho as well, who looks.
They haven't signed him, but they're favourites, and they will probably.
Look, if this guy is not signing a contract, I don't care. Don't sell him. Keep him in the team.
Don't keep him.
He's the difference between us winning the Premier League or the Champions League. If we can keep him fit next season like we did this season, we've got a much greater chance of winning the Premier League or winning the Champions League, in my opinion. I don't care if we're going to lose out on that 60 mil. Let him go for the free next summer if he's not signing a contract. But then again, I'm just a fan. I'm not a businessman. So that's my perspective.
Two points left. We've got about 10 minutes to cover both of them. It's not enough time, but we'll try to get through it as quickly as we can. I'm going to come to Dubai Ben first. Assuming Konate stays, I think he's staying. I don't think he's going to go. So that means Kwanzaa's gone, sorry. So that still means we need a centre-back.
Is that just for this window, sorry, Grizz, or by staying, do you mean signing? Signing. Yeah. Mark Guehi has been linked and liked. Situation with Palace, 1 year left on his contract. They're playing hardball. Steve Parish is a bloody good businessman, but he's in a similar situation like us with Konate, right? So it's a bit of gamesmanship everywhere you look. But difference being, Mark Guehi has indicated he indicated last summer when we approached him. And you know how we do in these situations, you pull out old tweets that you get right. The ones you get wrong, you delete quickly. But now, Mark Guehi said that he won't be extending. And I believe that's the reason why we didn't go for him last summer. We went for that Euro, didn't we? Or bust. We didn't go for anyone else. I knew we were going to come back for him. We have come back for him. What's the situation, in your opinion, on Guehi? Are you happy with him? Are you solid enough? Does he rival Konate for starting berth? And how much would you go up to? And that's probably going to go to two of you, and then two of you are going to answer the next question.
No, I think he's a cracking centre-half. I think he's England's best centre-half, to be honest. I think he's very underappreciated. Just because players play for lesser clubs, for instance, doesn't mean they're not...
Braithwaite's the best. Braithwaite.
Yeah, but, you know, he may be available, but he's not available to us, is he? Let's face it. I mean, I think the fee will probably get done around the 40 mark, 40, 42 mil. I think that'd be a steal, because let's face it, if he had a 3 or 4 year deal, he's a top centre-half price, you know what I mean? He is quality. You know, he's got traits that I think Konate, for instance, doesn't have. I think he's a better leader than Konate. I think Konate needs a chief in command next to him, i.e. Van Dijk. I think it just fits us so well. And I don't really buy all this stuff where, the media are talking about this game time. He's going to get plenty of games. Van Dijk can't be playing every game all the time anymore. Do you know what I mean? He's not 27, 28 anymore. So I think it'd be a shrewd signing. I reckon it'd be a signing that in 2 years' time we'd go, how the fuck did we get that deal over the line without anyone really doing it? I think it'll be a top signing. And I think Slaughter knows he's onto a real winner with that one. And Mark ain't turning that deal down. And I also think Palace will let it. They won't be as hardball on this one. I think what we've done for them at Anfield, that'll go a long way with this.
Interesting. Good relations. I'm gonna mix it up, and I'm gonna go straight to Welshmo with the same question, and Scousemo and Ben gonna get different ones. Is either one, or have you got your eyes on someone else that you'd like to bring in? Is Mark Guehi Premier League proven, or is there someone like Lukeba who's also been linked, or is there anyone else that you'd think? Because I'm thinking there is a stage where we're gonna have to start thinking about succession planning of the big man. You know, it's scaring me out.
Depends what it's for. Okay, now if it's to come into the squad and challenge Ibu and replace Verge when he's not injured and so forth, then brilliant. Mark Guehi's a brilliant defender. His passing ability from the back, passing through the lines, is so underestimated, which is a key thing for Liverpool centre backs. Like everyone goes on about he's 6 foot, he's shit in the air. He still won like 70-80% of his aerial duels last season. So but his passing ability and his defending is up there as one of the top. And yes, He's got Premier League proven experience. He's young. He's at that sweet age of 24 years old that everybody loves, or Liverpool love especially. If it's an Ibu replacement, then I'll be slightly gutted because Ibu's my man, and I want Ibu to stay second in everything that Scouse Mo has said. With Ibu, I think we've got more chance of winning the Champions League. If it's succession planning, a long-time Virgil replacement, then yeah, fine. And we can go and get other players in the market. Luke Haber's been mentioned. I like that Zeze as well, the other French dude. But I like Guehi. I think he'd be a very, very, very good signing. Last year, Newcastle were willing to pay 75 million for him. Let's not forget that. And if we can pick him up for 35, 40 million, that's going to be a hell of a deal. And especially
it will send rival fans.
Oh, they'll lose their head.
Lunacy homes.
Heads
They
will
will go to lunacy homes, man.
Heads will literally fall off. And can you imagine, like, the squad depth then? You got Ibu, VVD, Guehi, Gomez. Oh my days. I mean, even Gomez and Guehi as a backup too will start probably 15 teams in the Premier League right now.
Oh, yeah.
So that's frightening, man. Yeah. The Premier League better watch out. Like, we're coming back to back.
Okay. Simple Ben. All eyes on the forward line and how we end the window. Do we end the window with a bang? I put up a poll the other day. I haven't even checked the results. And the question is very simple.
Mm-hmm.
Isak, only Isak. Wait for him. Go for a second option, which I believe is Ekitike. Or is there any other name that's in your head and thinking we can do that? Because if we can't get Ekitike, he's been priced out, and Isak won't leave Champions League, Newcastle, blah, 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 wants to give them one more year. Is there a third option in your head? Or leave it as it is.
Is difficult because I have looked at a lot of these strikers and I can't remember who it was, but I saw someone, it might have been Lewis Steele today, said that two of them, Gyökeres and Sesko, are not of interest and wouldn't really suit us. And I kind of agree with that. Obviously, you've got Isak, who's at the absolute top of, anyone's list for strikers. And then there's a big drop-off, and I mean a big drop-off. Some people say Julian Alvarez. Okay, fine, if that's, what you want. But I just can't see how we could be planning to go from Isak, who's like a big, is strong, good feet, pacey, like bagsman striker, to then something that's a bit different. I don't see how that would work. So I think it would be Isak or Ekitike for me. This is very familiar territory, Grizz, because when we were in for a certain English midfielder from Dortmund, I kept telling people, listen, we're not signing a centre mid this season. We're not signing Vitinha from Porto, or in fact, Mateus Nunes. I think people wanted him, people like that. I was like, we're going to wait and we'll be fine because Bellingham's coming, and he didn't come. So I think that's always the risk with putting your whole thing on hold. So I'm sorry to say, but I feel like if they don't get Isak this summer, we have to just go and get somebody, because I know that's not how they operate, and it's not how they have been operating. Alisson, Virgil, Wirtz, all first choice signings, got them all in. We waited, even Virgil, Klopp was being a naughty boy with him. In fact, that sounds very strange, but you know what I mean. And, we had to wait 6 months to get him when other clubs probably would have just pivoted to somebody else. So we know how we are with our first choice targets. It's just whether, I think, one, Isak's going to push for the move, and two, how much money they'd want, because they're Saudi owned, they don't need money. But those two that you mentioned, for me, I've watched a little bit of Ekitike. I feel like he's the B-Tech. No offense to people like the B-Techs. I did B-Techs. He's the B-Tech Isak for me.
It's not a bad shout.
I think obviously Isak's way up here on the scale, but in terms of profile, I think that's a similar thing. And I don't get this whole João Pedro and before he went to United Cunha thing, because if you're going to get somebody like Ekitike or Isak, it makes no sense to then go find someone that you might think's more like a creator sort of striker. That's how I see it anyway. So I don't think we're going to go from one extreme to the other. I think it will be one of those two. Hopefully the first one.
Scousemo, I know you've got something lined up in your headspace. You always have. About how to deal with this front forward decision. Don't give me one of those. I've been racking my brain and I don't know. I'm telling you, don't do that to me. I want an answer from you.
Yeah.
All right. What do we do up front then, man? Because this could be I think it's pivotal. We've been brilliant in the transfer window so far, but this is it now. How do we end it? What are you doing?
Bro, I think we discussed this last week as well. My views haven't changed. Getting the striker this summer for me is critical. Like, this could be us signing out with a big bang. Like, in my opinion, it has to be Isak. Like, he is just the perfect striker. I'm sure every single person wants Isak in their team. He's arguably one of the best strikers in the world. Haaland's a better goal scorer, but in my opinion, I think Isak is a better footballer, a better striker.
I'd say
Isak,
that.
yeah, Isak would be stupendously sensational, but it's going to be very, very difficult. So, in my opinion, you don't bring in someone like Wirtz with all his creativity and then don't give him a striker to play off. Like, you need to unlock Wirtz and his true potential. You need a striker for Wirtz to play off. You can see what the last couple of seasons with Bayer Leverkusen, with Boniface, with Patrick Schick. He bounces off tall players, off big strikers. He needs that. Wirtz needs that. So you don't sign someone like Wirtz and then just say, okay, Luis Diaz is going to play up front. It's
Yeah, it won't make sense, will it? Like, if you put Wirtz and then put him a Diaz when he's used to Boniface, like you said, and Patrick Schick.
And do you know what? I hear Ben's points about Julian Alvarez, because in my opinion, it was always Isak or Julian Alvarez, but they are two completely opposite football players. So you can't just pivot from one player in terms of Isak and then just say, okay, we can't get Isak, we're going to go for what's it called? Remind me his name. I just had this name in my head.
Alvarez.
Yeah. So this is, you want me to give you a definitive answer. In my opinion, if we cannot get Alexander Isak and he doesn't push for a move this summer, me personally, I'll be going all out to get Victor Osimhen.
Same. I was hoping you say that.
Listen, at first, I wasn't really the biggest fan of that idea of Victor Osimhen coming. However, the more I think about it, he's a goal scorer, for starters. He will be able to link up very well with Wirtz, with Salah, with whoever plays on the left wing, whether that be Diaz, whether that be Gakpo, whoever it is. He's a very good link-up player. We've seen in his days at Napoli when he played with Kvaratskhelia. It was amazing. The way them two were linking up, it was fantastic. There is some reservations in terms of Osimhen. Like, is there an attitude problem there? I don't know. Why did he go Galatasaray last season? Maybe it's not a money issue because he turned down Saudi this year. Maybe that's not the concern with him. I don't know what it is. There's just something in the back of my mind that's telling me Osimhen, and then there's a red flag going off, like there's a red alarm, and I don't know what it is. I can't tell you. But in terms of the football player itself, I feel like he's going to get us goals. I feel like he's going to link up well with the team. I think he's a hard-working football player as well. He's going to press exactly what Slot wants. Maybe one negative is that he's going to go to AFCON, and Salah will go AFCON. But we've dealt with this position before in the past. Salah and Mane left to go AFCON, and we were perfectly fine. In my opinion, if we can't get Isak, and I hope and pray that we do, and this brother, my Eritrean brother, could push for a move and say, I want to join the best football club in the world, and I want to win all the big things instead of staying with Newcastle, who might just challenge in the Champions League. That's the perfect signing. If not Alvarez, if not Osimhen, that's my opinion.
Can I add on to that?
Very quickly.
I agree. Osimhen, for me, if we can't get Isak, okay, Isak's number one. It makes totally business sense from a business perspective as well for Osimhen, because we can do a straight swap for Nunes and Chiesa for Osimhen. They value him at 65 million. Okay, let's do a straight swap. Even give 5 million on top. Osimhen is always revered by the Saudi league. They want him, and eventually they will get him. So we can even keep him for a couple of seasons and still make our money back in a couple of seasons. All this nonsense about he's got a bad attitude problem. He left for Galatasaray because they took the piss out of him. They were racist to him. They made a video of him mocking him about missing a penalty. He went to Galatasaray. He scored shed loads of goals to prove he has got a good attitude. He could have earned more money with a goal bonus when he had a penalty last game of the season. He gave it to a defender or a goalkeeper. I can't remember who it was. Who was leaving Galatasaray. He went, you are, mate, you can have it, That just shows he's quite a nice lad. But I would love to have Osimhen if we can't get Isak. I think it just makes perfect business sense.
Let me just...
You've got to end it, man. You don't want to talk now, man. Ben's like in the Middle East over there, man. It's like 4 a.m. or something over there.
And then Ben can come in. This is the one quick point that I wanted to make about Ekitike. And I hope these rumors can just go away, because in my eyes, he is a project. He is somebody that you're going to have to polish, and then he has to come good. In my opinion, Liverpool don't need that right now. Liverpool need plug-in
Finished
play.
article.
Somebody who's a finished article, who's going to hit the ground running, and who's going to be scoring 20 plus goals for us in the Premier League next season as our striker. Ekitike, and I hate using this terminology because it makes me cringe a little bit. He underperformed his GA last season. It makes you cringe saying that, but it is quite a good indicator in terms of the player itself. Like, he gets himself into good positions, but he's not actually fulfilling his potential. So that shows to me that is a player that you're going to have to polish, make sure that in a couple of years he might work out. Who does that sound like? Nunes. Why do we want to love a Nunes? Go out there and get somebody who's guaranteed goals. In my opinion, that's Isak. If it's not Isak, it's Alvarez. If it's not Alvarez,
100%.
Ben, you have the last say. You have the last say.
What do you want me to say? Isak?
Forwards.
Yeah, for some reason, I don't know. I just get the feeling Liverpool aren't fully sure with Ekitike. I know the name's out there, but they could get that deal done now if they wanted it. Let's face it.
Agreed.
You know, I just think in the next 2 weeks you're going to see something change, and I think that's going to be Isak telling Newcastle he wants to go to Liverpool when he's back. He can't stay there another year, Grizz, because if he does, he misses the boat on all the top sides in Europe. There's only 2 left now, Arsenal and Liverpool, to buy a number 9.
Yeah,
I think Liverpool have played a bit of chess. I think they want to see what Arsenal do first. Once they've done that, Liverpool have got Newcastle where they want them then, because there's only one team for them. Where's he going to go next year?
And is he ever going to get this chance again? You know,
not at all. Not at all, because Barca have got their number 9, Real Madrid have got theirs, City have got theirs, Arsenal will have theirs, and Liverpool could have theirs. So he's missed the boat. And with all due respect to Newcastle, this is Liverpool. Liverpool have got a chance to win both of them comps. They're just taking part. It's the truth. It is the truth. We're the most successful club in fucking England, and if Liverpool won them, Liverpool will get them. You know what I mean? And
we're gonna end with a Grizz bomber.
Go on.
I've been told, reliably informed, that we will make a record-breaking bid for Isak. Now, whether that's accepted or whether that's done and whether we get him, I don't know. No one knows, really. Oh, well, actually, inside people will know that it's going to get accepted because they'll have an understanding, like what kind of figure we're looking at. But I've been reliably informed. Anfield Index and the Red Room, you heard it here first. I think we will make a record-breaking bid for Isak. I've got my reservations if it will work, and that's just my opinion and my feelings, because, you know, we're Liverpool fans. We want the best, but we've been burnt and hurt so many times. But after Wirtz, the world's our oyster, people. We are back on our perch. And if we go about things like the way we're doing it, no one can do anything about it.
We got the Nat Phillips money too, as well, no? So
we got the Nat Phillips money, baby.
Boys, are we deep in this? If we do, because Isaac's going to be very complicated, and I hope that bid gets accepted and he joins us. But are we deep in it? What kind of summer we might have? Wirtz, Kerkez, Frimpong, potentially Mark Guehi, and then Isak.
Well, this is what I mean.
They are fucked, Newcastle. They can't go anywhere. They're going to have to take the money.
Yeah, and it's the best thing for them as well. They take the money. They can open up the floodgates for their PSR then, you know?
My only, when the guy told me, I said, why would we wait? Because that would work against us, because that would give less time for Newcastle to go out and get a replacement. And he said, well, watch out. He claims, by the way, this is from a Newcastle person. He's adamant, absolutely adamant, that Liverpool are preparing a record-breaking bid for Isak. But we have to give them time to work and get their players in, because there's no point having money in the bank, because they're Champions League guys. So they're going to want to use that money and utilize that money. So yeah. I think it could be. I don't think we'll wait until the end of the window, guys. I think it'll be much before the end of the window, because it has to make sense for them. We can't be just total assholes. You know what I mean?
Do you think if Newcastle end up buying a striker first in the next couple of weeks, that will be a big signal?
But
I don't think. But do you guys think it'll be one? Because Pedro's obviously been the guy.
They're Elanga as well, aren't they? There's 100 million.
They're after Elanga as well. So look, we could be in for a mega ending.
Because they might want to get their strikers or attackers in first before they get that money. Otherwise,
yeah, of course,
if they get the money, they'll get overpriced on
there'll be
strikers.
conversations behind the scenes.
Ideal scenario. They go and sign Ekitike, making their little project. We sign
yeah.
Also,
and then in 5 years down the line, when Isaac's 30, 31, we get rid of Isaac, and then we get Ekitike. It could be our little conveyor belt.
Well, listen, we've been amazing so far, and we could be amazing near the end. And we'll discuss it next week about transfer windows and winning the transfer windows, because I don't really get excited about winning transfer windows. I just like winning pots, trophies, because that's why we're the greatest club the world has ever seen. And this has been the Red Room, people. Thank you very much for tuning in. Wow, record-breaking numbers. We've had over 3,000 on all platforms watching us today. So big up all of you lot across all the platforms, over 3,000 people. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and the audio podcast is going to be going out. Wherever you're watching it, wherever you're listening it, do the right thing. Subscribe if you haven't, like if you haven't, and leave a nice review on the podcast if you haven't. The dulcet tones of Dubai Ben, Scousemo, Welshmo, and Simple Ben, who had to run off. It's been a delight. I loved our chat tonight. You guys make my job so easy because you'll fucking know what you're talking about and it helps. Do you know what I mean? I hope the community enjoyed the chat. And let's just keep our eye on the Reds in the last few last few weeks of the window and see if we can really make it one for the ages. Thank you very much, guys. Make sure you guys are following these guys and check them out. Red or Alive, Ben, isn't it? Red or Alive.
Yeah, Red or Alive TV. Yeah.
Go and check it out, people. Go and check it out. Just type in Red or Alive and it will come up. And until next Tuesday, 8 p.m., we're going to try fix it until 8 p.m. on Tuesdays, give or take 10, 15 minutes. Over and out. Take care, people. Bye-bye.
Peace.